It's car part day. I found something I've been looking for a very long time. I'm super excited. If you've been following along, you can guess what it is and why I'm so excited, because it's a huge step. I've already picked it up. I meant to film this before, but I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, so I'm filming this real quick while I'm at a red light, so I'm safe. But got a car part. I will reveal it as soon as I take it to my shop. It might be in a couple days. I'm gonna take it home. But anyways, big steps. And we're at the shop. It's about a week and a half later, but I am here with the car part. Now, I didn't have to cover it up. You already know what it is, especially if you follow me on Instagram. I already spoiled it on my story. But I'm just so excited for this that I had to cover it up and make it a little bit fun. This is physically one of the biggest pieces that is going on this car, and it's a big milestone as well. So I'm super excited. Like I said, you already know what it is, but check it out. Anyways, this is my transmission that I got, and not only is it just a transmission, it is the proper transmission to pair up to this. I know with K20s you can swap between different transmissions, different engines pretty easily, but this is also to an 8th generation Honda Civic Si. Same thing the engine is out of. This thing's big. It's a 6-speed, which I don't know if that means it's bigger this way. I don't think it is. I actually think it is the same. I think it is the same housing as most of the 5 speeds. Don't quote me on that though. I am not an expert in this. Not even a little bit. I have no clue what I'm doing. But I know that this pairs up to that, and it is pretty big. I actually already measured it. I think this is about 15 inches or so right here. And on this side I had about 7 inches, and on this side I have about 4 inches in between the frame rails. That's less than 15. That's 11 inches. So I've got to cut off at least 4 inches somewhere. 2 inches on either side, rounded up 3 inches on both sides, which I actually don't think is too much to cut off. I know it's still tight. I know it's going to be hard, but I definitely think it's possible. So tonight I want to try and pair this up. I went and bought some bolts for it. I don't have a clutch or anything to go on the inside. I'm not going to bolt it up all the way. I just want to get them mounted together and really take a look at how this whole thing looks together. I'm not sure if I have the right thing to move it around, because I do have the cart, and I'm hoping I can just put it on the cart, but it also might make it too heavy and tilt it. So we'll see. I'm going to start with lifting this up, getting the engine out of here, holding this up next to it, and seeing if I can bolt it up. Do not try that. Do not copy me. That was really dumb what I just did. I could have gotten hurt, but that's how I roll. Anyways, I got the transmission on here, and then I got to a point where I was like, you know what? It's nice to see it on there. I think I put a bolt in the wrong place. So if anyone has a diagram, drop it down below. But I got it on here, and it's crazy to see this beast. It's not going to go in there very easily, and I'm not planning on doing any cutting tonight. I don't want to start cutting into any frame rails or anything, but I will get it lined up just so you can really see part of what I was struggling with. I was trying to level this so it could somewhat be accurate. It's definitely still not level. But if I bump this edge, you know what, here, I'll do it this way so you guys can see it a little bit better. If I put the end of the transmission right along the frame rail here, I mean, that kind of, does that give you an idea? So let me try and line this up correctly so you can see it. But if I bump the end of the transmission up along the frame rail, again, I'm cutting the frame rail, but this really just emphasizes how big this is. And you come over here, you can see the frame rail right there goes about right there. So if I wanted a 3-cylinder engine, I'd be fine. but this isn't a Corolla GR or anything like that. So that's what I have. Look at that massive, massive thing there. Trying to line that up. Get that to fit in there. I need an engine crane. That's definitely apparent because I cannot be lifting this thing by hand. I can't be moving it by hand. It's a pain in the butt. It's not safe. But there it is. I am going to try and just for kicks and giggles, because it does have kind of a notch out here. I want to roll it in there and see. Just see, because that's what I like doing. When everyone says that Hondas are like Lego, apparently that also spreads over a 30-year difference. Okay, not really, but it's like asking for it. You can't comprehend as well as I can in person. The camera is not doing it justice. Just how well this wants to go in here. Again, it's not made for it. There's not direct swaps, but it is like it's begging for it. It knows. It knows. This is the, now obviously this is going to have to go this way. I want it nice and centered, how it's supposed to be. But bumping this up along the side here, there's a wall right here. And that is as close as it is. It is so stinking close. I mean, literally, if this transmission was like 4 inches smaller, it could just plop down. If you know anything about fabrication, tell me if this is the worst way to go about this or if this is kind of a good idea. Because obviously we have the frame rails right here, and those are structural. I know that. It's got it on both sides, but that's the only thing that's really in the way. So my thought process, and I'm kind of thinking out loud here, my thought process is to start cutting here and cutting those frame rails here. You can see it a little bit better here. But basically following this line, that goes down a decent amount just to drop it down more and see what it wants. See what it wants from there and start to measure it out and center it from there. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that still needs to go into this. We've got the suspension that's going to have to be figured into here. The steering rack has to go behind here as well. But I've got some pretty creative ideas on that. Anyways, I think that that's going to be the next best thing, is to just start cutting there. I know it's structural, but this isn't like going on the road or anything. And there's enough different angles and everything on the sides that I think it'll keep it square. I don't think it's going to get super flimsy cutting those out, especially if I'm only cutting out enough of whatever I need to get in here. But again, this is just kind of thinking out loud. I'm taking this one day at a time. Speaking of taking it one day at a time, I think it's super important. I'm going to take a quick second, go on a soapbox here. But I think it's very important to reiterate that I am not a professional. I know I said that earlier, kind of joking around with the engine and the transmission and moving it on there. But I do not know what I'm doing. And I know that. But I know that I have the abilities and the blind confidence to figure this out. I will get this on the road. It will have a K20 in it, and it will be the most beautiful first-gen Civic that anyone has ever seen. I guarantee that. But yes, I do not know what I'm doing right now. But by all means, I will figure it out. Now, a little lighter note. Doesn't this look so good? I love it. That's where I'm going to leave it for tonight. I am super excited that I have that transmission. It's, I can't emphasize how much it means to me, because it's just these big chunks that are happening. This is a car that I've had since 2019. And during that, there was COVID. I lost my job. I, went through all sorts of stuff. I got married in 2019. I bought this a month after I got married. And I have just had life going all sorts of ways, and this has been on the back burner. But I got this shop earlier this year in February, I think it was. And now I'm finally making these big changes and these big improvements, and I cannot be more excited. It's crazy because it seems like it's moving slow, especially if I do my worst thing that I do and compare myself to other people. I compare myself to other YouTubers, and they are just cranking stuff out. Here's a build, here's a build. one of my favorite YouTubers, B is for Build. He started his SEMA project like 3 weeks before SEMA and did it. And it's hard for me to look at myself where I'm at and not be able to do that. But on the flip side, and I know I shouldn't compare myself, I'm in a very different situation. On the flip side though, I am making huge improvements. Again, I've had this since 2019. I got an engine this year. I got a transmission this year. I got this entire thing stripped out. I've got a shop that is an absolute mess. And I am just so excited. So, anyways, like I said, that's my soapbox. I'm going to get off of it now. If you liked what you watched today, please like, comment, subscribe. It means more to me than it does to the algorithm. I don't care about that. It means a lot to me just to know that people out there also appreciate what they are seeing. And I will see you guys in the next one.